welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. I'm your host. My name is Victoria Daisy, and today we're going to be recapping everything that happened last night on Monday Night Raw. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. But let's dive right in because the opening segment was a contract signing, another contract signing for the Women's World Championship match at WrestleMania 41. So Adam Pearce came out and he had the champion, Io Sky. He also had her opponent, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley come out to the ring. Once they came out, he announced that at WrestleMania, Io Sky will be defending her Women's World Championship in a triple threat match against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Now, after this announcement, obviously Rhea was very happy. This is what she's been wanting. Io was a bit shocked, and then Bianca was pissed. So here's the thing though. Bianca said that a couple weeks ago, this would have really pissed her off, but now she doesn't care because she believes Rhea is going nowhere. So obviously you care, and obviously you're mad because you're making a big deal about it. Anyways, then Rhea and Bianca got super heated, and this is what we have to pay attention to, okay? So right here, in these moments, when Rhea and Bianca are getting angry and heated at each other, WWE is trying to push this additional storyline within this storyline currently that Rhea and Bianca is the bigger puzzle here, if that makes sense. Or this is the bigger storyline, if you will. Within the storyline, there's something within it that is even bigger than the actual storyline. If any of that made sense, hopefully someone understood what I just meant by that. But basically, every time we've seen them get heated, Io tries to come in and split up, and one of them ends up shoving her out of their way and is like, nope, it is all about Rhea and Bianca. And to me, this just proves that they care more about each other than Io and maybe even the championship as a whole. And they just want to get their hands on each other. We know that Rhea and Bianca have a very long history together, dating all the way back to NXT Black and Gold days. And Io was a part of that. But, I mean, we know that there's something bigger here between the two of them. And so eventually all the women signed the contract. And I'm so proud of Io, okay? Because Io, towards the end, really showed why she is a boss, and I love that. She put them in their place. She like low-key attacked them, and it was fantastic. But there are a lot of different avenues WWE can go down in regard to this match at WrestleMania, but I think the most probable one that would make the most sense, and my dad actually pointed this out to me, he said Io retains, Bianca turns heel during the match, and then that's how we continue Rhea versus Bianca at SummerSlam, for example. So if we go down this route where Bianca turns heel during the match and then Io ends up retaining, I think this is the best case scenario, the best outcome that we could probably think of, because Io can then successfully defend her title at WrestleMania, have that great moment, and then she can move on to other opponents and continue to have a great title reign, while it doesn't necessarily feel like such a big loss for Rhea and Bianca because they're now about to enter an even bigger storyline than what this is currently, and it's all going to lead to that big money match that we've all been waiting for years, hopefully at SummerSlam. So SummerSlam is August 2nd and 3rd. It's the first ever 2-night SummerSlam, so you already know it's going to be a big deal. And I don't know if this was an Easter egg for whatever, but Bianca was in the original ad or commercial for when they announced that SummerSlam was A, going to be in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium, and B, that it was going to be a 2-night event. It was her and Cardi B in that commercial. And I don't know if maybe that was some sort of hint, like, hey, maybe you will be main eventing night number 1 or night number 2. So I definitely do think that, you know, between now and SummerSlam, we have about 4 months, I believe. That is more than enough time to continuously build the storyline to make it the top attraction for the entire show. It has that potential. If they book it the correct way and they execute everything perfectly, I definitely do think this could be one of the top, if not the top matches on the SummerSlam card. So I'm very excited. I think they could definitely headline night one or night two. And I'm very intrigued to see where we go from here. I'm very excited to see how the match at WrestleMania pans out. As far as Bianca turning heel, I mean, for the last couple months, mainly the last like 2 or 3, we've seen Bianca with a new attitude. Now, there's a way to have an attitude still as a baby face, but this is a new attitude. She's being rude, she's being aggressive, and those are not traits of a baby face. She's coming out in all black, which is definitely like more little like villain-esque, her traditional baby face gimmick. What we all know and love her for is the happy colors, the glitter, the sparkles. She comes out whipping her hair, all excited. She came out last night and even in the last couple weeks not doing that. I mean, she had a beautiful outfit. Her top said EST. Like, she was slaying, just a different kind of slay, if you know what I mean. So I was just very interested in how last night was going to pan out, and I'm very interested to see how WrestleMania is going to pan out. I'm very excited for that match. No, it's not main eventing. Crap. It really should have, but it's okay. Maybe it's like a semi-main. I feel like I'd be very much okay with a semi-main or a show opener, but we'll get to that very soon. Next, we had the first match of the night, which was for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria defending against Bayley. Now, this was a fantastic match, okay? I was so shocked by how good this match was. I mean, Bayley is such a seasoned vet, and Lyra is an up-and-coming star. And so I knew it was going to be good, but I mean, they were pulling out all the stops. I mean, there were so many times when I thought Bayley was going to win, but Lyra was ready to counter each and every time. And that definitely took her to the end of the match where she won and she retained her Women's Intercontinental Championship. And I love what this relationship and storyline they're building between Lyra and Bayley. We do know that they are tag teaming, I believe it's next week or in 2 weeks, to participate in the Women's Tag Team Championships tournament, I believe it is. So I'm very intrigued to see, this is long-term storytelling, I feel in my bones. So I think this is something they would even revisit in a couple years from now. So very excited for that. The next match, we had El Grande Americano versus Dragon Lee. Now, once again, this is literally just Chad Gable versus a opponent, but it's okay. We'll keep El Grande Americano's spirit live forever and ever. So this basically was Chad Gable versus Dragon Lee. So of course it was great. I mean, there was so much athleticism and it was such a quick-paced match, and it was honestly really fun. And this story with El Grande Americano is so fun, which is why it gives matches like this so much opportunity for cool spots. And I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's just Chad Gable, but again, we can make the fun little gimmick and make for fun moments in the match. Now, in the end, of course, our American hero, El Grande Americano, won, but then we ended up finding out that at WrestleMania, we are getting Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Now, I don't know how I feel about this. This kind of proves to me that maybe this is a filler match and that maybe, perhaps, dare I say, WWE does not have enough storylines or matches to fill up both nights. Because that's what it's giving. It's giving a night number 1, middle of the show type of random match that I'm going to go pee. This is giving bathroom break. It's giving, let me go serve myself some food because it's a WrestleMania party that we're having and I'm just going to go scroll on my phone and see what's going on in the world. That's what it was giving. So, it's okay. I don't think there's ever going to be a WrestleMania probably where it's just banger after banger after banger. I don't think we've had that since WrestleMania 32, and I'm biased because that's my favorite WrestleMania besides 40. So whatever. Next, though, we had an incredible segment between Gunther and Jey Uso. So Gunther came out first, and then Jey came out second, right after, like literally a couple minutes later. Now, some things to note when Jey came out. He came out in all black. And as we know, in Bianca's case, when you come out in all black, it really signifies that you are serious, right? Especially for people like both of them who were used to seeing them in fun colors and being energetic and excited and happy. But when they come out in all black, looking sophisticated, looking like they are ready for business. You know something's about to go down. And that's exactly what happened with Jay. I mean, he wasn't even wearing at least a black Yeet shirt. It was straight up just a black outfit. It was really cool, by the way. He had like black Yeet glasses, so I don't know if those are new or not. So would love to see those on the shop. But I mean, he looked like he meant business, okay? And I was here for it. So Gunther was getting ready to talk, but then Jay literally slapped the mic out of Gunther's hand. And Gunther was like, whoa, what the hell? But then Jay got vulnerable for a minute and said that he told his mom that her oldest son was in a hospital bed with 15 stitches across his head. Then the mom asked Jay, why didn't you protect him? He said the reason he didn't do anything is because he was afraid of Gunther. And he said that last week when Gunther was obliterating his twin brother, Jimmy, he was tied up to the ropes, as we know. And he said that he had never felt more helpless and disrespected in his entire life, because we all know how he feels about his family. And he said that in his darkest moment, last week in that ring, a light bulb went off in his head. And that light bulb was that he was not afraid of Gunther anymore. And when he said that, Gunther's demeanor changed. He was like, holy crap, this could be dangerous. Because when someone is feared of you for so long, you feel a sense of power, right? And that's what Gunther has felt. But the second that person tells you very seriously, I am not afraid of you anymore, and you believe it as Gunther, and you know what Jay is capable of. You know he went through 29 other men at the Royal Rumble, eliminated John Cena to become the winner of the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble. There is also a light bulb that goes off in Gunther's head that says, wait a minute, let me not underestimate what the main event Jey Uso can do. And then Jay dropped a bomb that I didn't even know he was capable of dropping, because again, we have never seen him this serious before. I mean, I think when he had that talk with Jimmy, I really do believe that Jimmy saved this match, saved this storyline, because he got to uplift his brother, motivate him, and instill confidence in him that you are the Oos that can get it done. Okay. And so ever since then, and ever since that light bulb went off in his head last week in the ring, I think he feels unstoppable. And I think that energy and that motivation is what's going to push him to not only survive the match, but win the match and become the new world heavyweight champion. And so this is what he said. This is a direct quote from Jay. He said, before WrestleMania, hug and kiss your family. Before WrestleMania, the night before, I'm going to lay down my head and I'm going to say a prayer. I'm going to say a prayer for you, but more so for me. And I'm going to ask the Lord to forgive the man I'm about to become, because at WrestleMania, I'm going to get you. And I loved that so much. I mean, this was an absolutely fantastic promo from Jay. Definitely, honestly, his best in his career. Like, let's be so for real. We know he's not the best on the mic, but this was his best, okay? And I don't think Gunther was expecting that, because he kind of left him in shambles, low key. I mean, Gunther wasn't, like, towards the beginning, Gunther was laughing at him, like, oh, this is funny, whatever. Towards the end, Gunther was not laughing. He had a bit of a concerned face on him, and I loved that. I loved that we are instilling fear 11 days away, or from yesterday, 12 days away from WrestleMania. And I loved that. I mean, this was such a pivotal promo for Jay in this storyline that needed to happen, just like that Jimmy situation 2 weeks ago needed to happen, just like last week needed to happen. So I'm obsessed with everything going on. I definitely do think that WWE dug themselves out of the hole for once, and they saved the storyline, and I think it's going to be believable now when Jay wins. But now, after WrestleMania, we'll talk about this more, maybe the Raw after Mania and after all the craziness. I think then we need to start talking about, okay, well, how are we going to continue this momentum with Jay as champion? Because similar to Cody Rhodes last year, we had this humongous buildup to him becoming champion, and then when he actually became champion, it wasn't as great as we were hoping. I mean, I'm not saying he's had a garbage reign, but he's only ever had a couple few big defenses, and really every defense should be a big defense. So we will cross that bridge when we get there. But the next match was for the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, or sorry, excuse me, the WWE World Tag Team Championships. I wrote that down wrong in my notes, but it's okay. So this was the War Raiders versus the New Day. And to be honest, this wasn't that great of a match, okay? I think they were trying to build something up really quickly like a week before. And then nothing really happened. The match was kind of short. There was some cool spots, but nothing that really piqued my interest, to be honest. And I like the War Raiders. I just wasn't crazy about it. But then the New Day won by disqualification, which means they won the match but not the title. So I wonder if this will carry on into anything in regards to WrestleMania or even just next week. And then we had our main event. Not our main event of the entire night, because we still had a segment after this, but the main event match was Penta versus Dominic Mysterio. Now this was a great match, okay? We had two luchadors from two different generations, and when they collided, it was so much better than I anticipated. Now, in the end, Penta did win, but honestly, I just thought, like, it was fun. Now, after the match, the Judgment Day attacked Penta, and then Braun Breaker came out for the save, or so we thought, because then he ended up wiping out Penta too. And then Finn came out to knock everyone out and raise the Intercontinental Championship high. Now, something to know is right before Monday Night Raw went on air, maybe 7 p.m. Eastern, so like an hour before the show or something like that, Adam Pearce released a video on social media announcing a match for WrestleMania, which I thought was interesting that they didn't do during the show or after the show, but it is official. Braun Breaker will be defending his Intercontinental Championship in a fatal four-way at WrestleMania 41. So it'll be Braun Breaker defending against Penta, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor. Now, I believe this is where we are going to finally see the downfall of the Judgment Day. We've already been kind of on a downfall, but I mean the official breakup. The end is near, okay, guys? We are inching it so quickly. And if you're telling me Dom and Finn are both in a fatal four-way for the championship, I mean, come on. Now, for some reason, we'll get to this when I do my WrestleMania 41 night 1 and 2 preview video and I predict all the matches and all that stuff. There's a weird feeling in me that like maybe Dominic will win or Penta, but like I feel like Penta needs to have like a bigger moment. Well, actually, what bigger moment than WrestleMania? I don't know. I just feel like if Dom wins, like that would be the best way to break up the Judgment Day because like Finn is going to be pissed. But I don't think Dominic is necessarily ready for a championship yet, but I could be wrong. You never know. The thing is, he just has so much heat right now that I'm like, it's a little risky when you have such a great champion like Braun Breaker. But there has been so much tension between Finn, Liv, Raquel, Carlito. Well, not really Carlito. He kind of just wanders. And Dom. And obviously, we know that Finn is manipulative. We know that he is passive-aggressive. And I don't know. I'm excited to see where this goes because I think it's going to be really good. And honestly, take the storyline out of the match. The match itself is just going to be great as well. But let's head into the main event segment. We had a Paul Heyman segment, sort of, with some special guests. So Paul Heyman started off by saying that he is always going to be loyal to his tribal chief, Roman Reigns. But he will also always be loyal to his best friend in the world, CM Punk. Now, before he could even continue, Seth Rollins comes out. Now, Seth is such an instigator, okay? It's my favorite thing ever. It makes him who he is. It makes his character funny. I love it, okay? So when he got on the mic, he asked Paul, quote, "I want to ask you the question that's been on all of our minds for the past few days. Paul Heyman, whose side are you on?" Seth, thank you. Thank you. I love that he's an instigator. He's always trying to just do the most. I love it. So Seth said that over the weekend, he had a realization that Roman Reigns does not care about Paul Heyman. He said he uses him and manipulates him to get what he wants. Basically, this entire segment was Seth trying to convince Paul that it's not going to work out with Roman Reigns or CM Punk. And if you read between the lines, it tells me that Seth wants to maybe work with Paul Heyman. I said this on my Instagram story last night. Like, if Paul Heyman pulls a double turn, because right now we think that Paul's going to turn on Roman to get with CM Punk, right? And that still could happen. But what if we get a double turn, the swerve of a lifetime, where not only does he turn on Roman Reigns, but he turns on CM Punk as well and ends up joining forces with Seth Rollins. Now, if that happens, I'm going to laugh so freaking loud. It's going to be hysterical. Now, Seth said that it would be a privilege to remove Paul Heyman from the situation with Roman and Punk. I guess he just thinks in his head that it's just not worth it. And so in Seth's mind, I guess the only way to do that was to take him out. Now, right before he could do that, CM Punk came out, and then Punk and Rollins started aggressively brawling inside and outside of the ring. Then Rollins curb stomped Punk, and then he was going to do it to Paul Heyman, but then Paul, thinks quickly, and he moved just in time. Then Seth got on the mic and said to Paul Heyman, quote, "Now you owe me a favor." I mean, this entire storyline has been about favors, right? So now, could this favor be do a double turn, join forces with me, build me up to be the next Roman Reigns, build me up to be like CM Punk? I don't know. There's a lot of unknown, but a lot of known at the same time with the storyline. And I think that's why it's so good. I mean, this is the main event of night number 1, after all, of WrestleMania 41. So let's get into my overall thoughts. Overall, I thought it was a pretty solid Monday Night Raw. My match of the night was the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, Lyra Valkyria defending against Bayley. I thought that this match was so clean and entertaining. I really enjoyed all the spots both women did. And overall, I just felt it was very enjoyable to watch. Like, it was just simply a good freaking match. Then my segment of the night might come to you guys as a surprise, maybe, was Gunther and Jey Uso's segment. I mean, I thought, like I said earlier, that this was a very pivotal promo for this storyline. And I thought Jay's execution was great. I thought he said everything the way that he should have said it. And I just think everything happened the way it was supposed to. And I'm very happy about that. Overall, I rate the show about a 7.5 out of 10. 8 is really inching it. Maybe I'll give it an 8. You know what? I changed in the moment. It's an 8 out of 10. And we're officially 11 days till night number 1 of WrestleMania. It is going to be so good. The ride and the road to WrestleMania has been pretty good. And we still got 2 weeks left of shows, I believe. I think we have one more Monday Night Raw. And so next week is the go home show, if I'm not mistaken. And we have 2 more SmackDowns. And then we have 2 more NXTs until Stand and Deliver, which we will talk about tomorrow. And it is just going to be so good. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Championing the Passion. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms, and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy of what you love. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.